Hello everyone, it's me again, and you might be wondering, why am I making a video right now? Well, it's because since the season's over, I'm going to need something else to populate my YouTube channel, so I decided to rank the My Little Pony writers. Now, what I mean by ranking them is that I'm making a list based on all of the writers of the series, and I'll count them down based on my least favorite writer all the way to my favorite writer. Now, a couple of rules. First of all, I believe that every single writer has his or her strong points, and almost all of them have at least one good episode up his or her sleeve. But the one good episode doesn't always make up for some of the idiocy that they come up with. So, here we go. And by the way, I'm not including Jason Thiessen or Jim Miller because considering they're already showrunners, I think it's kind of cheating. And they only write stories for the episodes anyways. But I am including writers that only have one episode or two up their sleeve because this is a ranking list, so I gotta include all of them. Okay, so number 21, Chris Savino. To be fair, my least favorite writer was not a hard one to choose. Chris Savino is just a writer that I thought was a very lackluster writer. He only wrote 2 episodes, Ghostbusters and Stairmaster, not Scaremaster, that's later. Anyways, his writing style, in my opinion, is very awkward. A lot of his jokes really don't hit very well. A lot of his interactions seem very awkward. In fact, the only thing that I really liked about his writing was the fact that he introduced Trixie to the series, and she didn't get portrayed better until she appeared in Magic Duel in Season 3. It just really seems like some of his episodes, like both of his episodes, didn't have much of a reason to exist otherwise. Number 20, Charlotte Fullerton. If you saw Suited for Success in Season 1, you'd probably see the one episode that was worth watching for Charlotte Fullerton. But other than Suited for Success being utterly musical awesomeness, the rest of her episodes are pretty lackluster. I know she also wrote Power Ponies, but that was with the help of both Megan McCarthy and Betsy McGowan, both of whom I'll talk about later. But in many respects, her other episodes are pretty much stinkers, like A Bird in Your Hoof and Baby Cakes. And Baby Cakes is actually my least favorite episode of the series. If you want me to actually review it, I'll consider it, but it's going to be a very negative review. Moving on. Number 19, Meriwether Williams. Cue Mysterious Mare-de-Well joke here. I understand. A lot of people hate Mysterious Mare-de-Well, and if I explained why I didn't like it myself, I'd just be reiterating points from every single brony analyst imaginable, with the exception of Josh Scorcher. And I respect his opinion, because I think Meriwether did improve with episodes like Hearthwarming Eve and Wonderbolt Academy. Unfortunately, just because she improved her writing in late Season 2 and early Season 3, that didn't keep her from making even more stinkers, like Dragon Quest and Spike at Your Service. Number 18, Lauren Faust. I know the creator of the show is very low on this list, and to be fair, she's only written 3 episodes, and she is the one who made the pilot of the series. But it's clear that at the very start of the series, the characters weren't realized yet, and watching the first 2 episodes now, over 5 years after it started, you can see some of the weaker points of the premiere. You know, some of her episodes move too fast. Subtlety isn't really her game. And in many respects, I feel that once Amy Keating-Rogers came into the staff, the writing of the series started to get a lot tighter and the dialogue was a lot more snappy. And I'll get to Amy later. Number 17, Corey Powell. I originally thought Corey Powell would be much higher on the list due to her exceptional performance with Sleepless in Ponyville, and due to the rather well done Spike and Rarity episode with Inspiration Manifestation. But of course, when you take into the account that she also wrote Just for Sidekicks and Rainbow Falls, which are 2 of the most hated episodes of Season 3 and Season 4, it's clear that she's very hit or miss. But her hits are very high hits, but her misses suck so hard. Number 16, Teddy Antonio. Not much to say about Teddy Antonio. He's a young kid who just happened to be credited for the story of, what was that episode? Oh yeah, Keep Calm and Flutter On. Keep Calm and Flutter On. And I'll say what a lot of people said about it. It's a little rushed at points, but the story is strong enough, and I do like the Reformed Discord, and I like the way they handled that Reformation. with Fluttershy being the one to handle it. So, thanks Teddy Antonio, I'm glad you contributed to the series. Number 15, Neil Dusty Dow. And originally I thought Neil Dusty Dow would be right down there with Chris Savino after the despicable performance that was Princess Spike. But what about Discord with its goofy humor and its lovable character in Discord really managed to save him. I know some people really didn't like that episode because not much was accomplished, but personally I felt it was humorous enough and it had enough twists in the plot to keep me interested. Different strokes for different folks, you know. Number 14, Scott Sonneborn. Another writer that I thought would be very low on the list, considering his episodes range from absolute travesties like Trade Ya and Some Pony to Watch Over Me, to great efforts like the Cutie Map two-parter and Do Princesses Dream of Magic Sheep. Yeah. When it comes to Some Pony to Watch Over Me, my big problem, my big problem wasn't how boring and cliche most of the episode was, or how underwhelming the monster was, but mainly the ending and how terribly he handled the message. But Mr. Sonneborn has improved over time. By the time Season 5 came around, his writing was damn incredible. Number 13, Dave Polsky. The guy who wrote Feeling Pinky Keen and Over a Barrel, which were both considered very controversial episodes in Season 1, also managed to write some absolutely great episodes, like Brother Who's Social. And Mr. Dave Polsky has improved when it comes to his writing, and I personally think he's the best guy when it comes to comedy. The problem is, what he does great in comedy, he does unfortunately poorly in kinda everything else. Thankfully, his comedy is strong enough in Brother Who's Social and in several other episodes to the point where I personally think he's a decent writer right now. Oh yeah, and Appaloosa's Most Wanted still sucks. Number 12, Josh Haber. Mr. Josh Haber wasn't really a bad writer by the time Season 4 rolled around, but he was certainly one that was the most cliched, with episodes like Castlemania, Leap of Faith, and Simple Ways. They took very, very common cartoon cliches and didn't do anything with them. By the time he wrote Friendship Games and on Bloom Gloom and the Season 5 finale, it made me realize that once this guy steps away from the cliches, he knows how to write these characters. And it makes me wonder what he has in store for Season 6. Number 11, Betsy McGowan. Not much to say here. She helped write Power Ponies, she did it well. There's not much else to look at when it comes to her resume. Next one. Number 10, Natasha Levinger. Another hit-or-miss writer, but her hits are very strong in my opinion. Again, her episodes range from absolutely humorous and very heartwarming episodes, such as Pinky Apple Pie and Make New Friends But Keep Discord, to middling efforts like Scaremaster, to stinkers like It Ain't Easy Being Breezies. But even in her worst efforts, I still find something funny and something heartwarming to latch onto. And as much as I don't like It Ain't Easy Being Breezies, at least it contributed to the plot of Season 4. So it's just enough for her to crack the top 10. Number 9, Nick Confalone. Mr. Confalone, the man who wrote Hearthbreakers. He may be pretty high on the list, but mainly because I love the world building that the guy does. I forget the name of the other episode that he did, but for the most... Oh, Party Pooped. When it comes to both Party Pooped and Hearthbreakers, his comedy and his world building are both spot on. He has a couple of weak points when it comes to his characterization, but hopefully he does better in Season 6. Number 8, G.M. Barrow. G.M. Barrow is the writer of the My Little Pony chapter books, and it really does show, as she knows the characters very well. She only wrote one My Little Pony episode, with the one that Pinkie Pie knows, but when it comes to her excellent writing in both her chapter books and that episode, I say she deserves the number 8 spot. Alright, Noelle Benvenuti. I have no idea where this lady came from. And who is she? Where did she come from? How did she write both Maud Pie and Maid in Manhattan? We'll never know, and it's killing us to find out, but I love both episodes, hence why she's number 7. Number 6, Ed Valentine. another writer that came out of nowhere, and who only wrote 2 episodes in Season 4, but since Flight to the Finish and Three's a Crowd were so excellent, he deserves the number 6 spot. Number 5. A tie between Joanna Lewis and Christine Sonko. I decided to put these 2 writers together because they always write their episodes together, and it seems to work out well for them. Castle Sweet Castle, Rarity Investigates, and several other episodes in Season 5 prove that they know their stuff. And heck, in the Hooffields and the McColts, they can even put in historical Civil War battles and make it seem very entertaining. So yeah, I love these 2. I hope these 2 ladies come back for Season 6. Now for the top 4, these are major writers. And I think, based on process of elimination, you probably know which ones are in the top 4. So number 4, Cindy Morrow. Probably the most heartwarming writer, but also the main writer that had some mediocre efforts as well. All's Well That Ends Well and Showstoppers kept her from getting to the top 3, but no one can deny how excellent Rita and Weep and Hurricane Fluttershy were. In fact, and I even think her Season 5 episode, Tanks for the Memories, was a good effort as well. When it comes to handling emotional moments and great morals, Cindy Morrow has it down. Number 3, M.A. Larson. M.A. Larson is considered by many fans to be the best writer on the show, and even though he's not my personal favorite, since he has so many great episodes with Swarm of the Century, Sonic Rainboom, It's About Time, the Return of Harmony 2-parter, Magic Duel, Cutie Mark Chronicles, Slice of Life, etc., 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 it's clear that this guy is one of the best writers on the show. And if it wasn't for Crusaders of the Lost Mark, I'd say Ponyville Confidential is the best CMC episode of the bunch. So yeah, he's awesome, and he should really consider staying on the show. Number 2, Megan McCarthy. Megan McCarthy is the one who gets the most important stuff done. And in many respects, I feel that her first episode, Dragonshy, was the very first truly great episode in the entire series. And she didn't stop there. When it comes to other episodes like Call of the Cutie, Canterlot Wedding Parts 1 and 2, Three's a Crowd, Green Isn't Your Color. I think she did Green Isn't Your Color. I could be wrong. Lesson 0, Party of 1. She created some of the craziest and some of the most entertaining episodes of the whole series. And since she was the one to take over as showrunner from Lauren Faust, I'd say she did an amazing job. And due to process of elimination, you probably know that my favorite writer is Amy Keating Rogers. I've loved her since I've loved her ever since Ticketmaster. She's one of the writers who has written a huge amount of episodes that cover a huge amount of genres. From the Ticketmaster to Applebuck Season to Mystery on the Friendship Express to Crusaders of the Lost Mark to Main Attraction, she is clearly a writer who's one of the most versatile. And even though she doesn't seem to take a lot of risks, she really doesn't need to. Her humor and her heartwarming nature mix together perfectly in these episodes. Plus, she really knows how to write in almost any situation, even when it comes to writing for bad shows like Avengers Assemble. And in many respects, I love her the most, mainly because her episodes touch me the hardest. She reminds me of why I love this series so much, because of its amazing humor, because of its great characters, because of its excellent music, and because it's a show that doesn't talk down to its audience and treats us all like the way it should. It's going to be really sad to see Miss Amy Keating Rogers go, but at least she can go knowing that I appreciate everything that she's done. And when it comes to her heartwarming nature and the fact that her episodes are clearly the ones that have the best impact on me as a person, I can safely say that Amy Keating Rogers is, without a doubt, my favorite writer of My Little Pony. I will see you all later.